Men are not disturbed by things, but by the view which they take of them.
Epictetus said this nearly 2,000 years ago, yet it feels like he was looking directly into the chaos of the 21st century. Look around you. We live in an era of unprecedented comfort, yet we have never been more fragile. A single comment on social media can ruin your day. A sudden email from your boss can send your heart racing in panic. A traffic jam can ignite a fury that burns for hours. We are constantly triggered, constantly reactive, and constantly at the mercy of the world around us. We have handed over the keys to our happiness to everyone and everything except ourselves. We act like leaves in the wind, blown violently by every shift in circumstance. But what if you could stop the wind? Or, better yet, what if you could become a mountain that the wind simply flows around? Imagine walking through life with an inner fortress so strong that insults shatter against it like glass. Imagine facing financial loss, betrayal, or chaos with a pulse that doesn't even quicken. This is not about becoming a robot. It is not about killing your emotions. It is about something far more powerful: invincibility. In this video, we are not just going to recite philosophy. We are going to hand you the blueprint for a mental armor designed specifically for the challenges of 2026 and beyond. We are going to explore 10 ancient principles from Epictetus, the slave who became a master of his own mind, that will ensure nothing, absolutely nothing, can affect you without your permission. If you are ready to reclaim your mind and build a life of unshakable peace, welcome to Timeless Wisdom Official. You are exactly where you need to be. Before we start, please kindly hit like to share the message and subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Official to join a community turning insight into action. Let's rise together.
Part 1. The Foundation of Invincibility. Principle 1. The Dichotomy of Control, the Sovereign Territory. The first step to becoming untouchable begins with a ruthless division of your world. Epictetus opens his handbook with a truth so simple, most people miss its profound power. Some things are in our control and others not. It sounds obvious, doesn't it? But look closely at your own suffering. Look at the anxiety that keeps you awake at 3 a.m. Almost all of it comes from trying to control things that are utterly outside your grasp. You try to control what people think of you. You try to control the economy, the political landscape, the traffic, the weather, and the past. When you try to control the external world, you are a slave. You are a slave to the person who can give you what you want or take away what you fear. If your peace depends on your partner's mood, you are their slave. If your confidence depends on the number of likes on your photo, you are a slave to the algorithm. Epictetus demands that you draw a line in the sand. On one side, there is your sovereign territory, your reasoned choice, your character, your judgments, and your actions. This is yours. No tyrant, no disaster, and no amount of bad luck can touch this. On the other side is everything else: your body, your property, your reputation, and your job. These are indifferents. They are merely borrowed from fortune. Here is the shift you need to make today. Stop desiring things that are not up to you. The moment you pin your happiness on a promotion at work, you have handed your peace to your boss. You have made yourself vulnerable. But if you pin your happiness on doing your job with excellence, that is entirely up to you. No one can steal that from you. Visualize yourself as the captain of a ship in a storm. You cannot control the height of the waves. You cannot control the direction of the wind. If you scream at the ocean, you are a fool. Your only task, your only power, is to hold the wheel and steer with skill. When you focus only on your own hand at the wheel, the fear of the storm evaporates. You become untouchable because your success is defined internally, not externally. Principle 2. The art of the pause, killing the reaction. We live in a culture of instant reaction. The notification dings, and you look. Someone insults you, and you snap back. A headline flashes, and you feel instant outrage. We are conditioned to be puppets, dancing on the strings of impulse. Epictetus teaches us that freedom lives in the space between the stimulus and the response. He famously said, "It is not the things themselves that disturb men, but their judgments about these things." When someone insults you, it is not the words that hurt. Words are just sound waves traveling through the air. What hurts is your interpretation that you have been harmed. What hurts is your ego screaming, "How dare they?" To be invincible, you must master the art of the pause. When you feel that sudden surge of anger, fear, or desire, do not act. Do not speak. Do not type. Freeze that moment. Imagine that emotion is a visitor knocking on your door. Most people throw the door open and let the visitor trash the house. You must keep the chain on the door. Look at the emotion. Analyze it. Ask yourself, is this essential? Is this actually harming my character, or is it just bruising my ego? In the modern world, this is your superpower. When you receive a rude email, the weak person replies instantly with defensiveness. The Stoic pauses. They realize the rudeness belongs to the sender, not the receiver. By refusing to react, you refuse to accept the gift of their anger. You leave it with them. Silence is often the loudest display of power. When you pause, you regain control. You move from the emotional brain to the rational brain. You stop being a puppet. The next time the world tries to provoke you, take a deep breath. Count to 5. In those 5 seconds, you reclaim your soul. You realize that nothing outside of you has the power to force you to feel anything. You choose the feeling. You choose the response. Principle 3. Role-playing life is a stage. One of the most liberating concepts in Stoicism is the idea that life is like a play, and you are merely an actor. Epictetus says, "Remember that you are an actor in a drama, of such a kind as the author pleases to make it. If short, of a short one, if long, of a long one." We suffer because we confuse our role with ourself. You think you are your job title. You think you are your bank account. You think you are the parent, the CEO, or the victim. When the role is threatened, when you lose the job or the status, you feel like you are dying. You feel like your identity is being erased. But the actor does not cry when the play ends. The actor does not feel diminished because he played a beggar instead of a king. The actor's only job is to play the assigned role well. This principle destroys the fear of failure and judgment. If you are fired from your job, it is not a tragedy for you. It is simply a plot twist for your character. Your job is to play the role of the person who just got fired with dignity, grace, and resilience. If you are sick, play the role of the sick person well. Do not complain at the playwright. Just act. When you view life this way, you develop a professional detachment. You can engage fully in life, work hard, and love deeply, but you always keep a small part of yourself reserved, watching from the wings. You realize that the applause of the crowd doesn't make you better, and their booing doesn't make you worse. Think of the freedom this brings. You no longer have to perform for validation. You are performing for your own standard of excellence. Whether you are sweeping floors or leading a nation, the value lies in the performance, not the position. When you separate your worth from your role, the ups and downs of life become entertainment, not existential threats. You become the observer, unhurt by the drama on the stage. Part 2. Advanced Perspectives for Mental ARMOR Principle 4. The View from Above, Shrinking the Monsters. Often, what destroys our peace is a lack of perspective. We zoom in so close on our problems that they fill our entire vision. A missed deadline feels like the end of the world. A breakup feels like a fatal wound. A rude comment feels like a declaration of war. We lose ourselves in the trivial because we have lost the context of the infinite. The Stoics practiced a powerful visualization technique known as the view from above. Imagine pulling your consciousness out of your body. Float up towards the ceiling. Look down at yourself sitting there, stressing over your bills or your emails. Now, float higher. Rise above your house, your city, your country. See the millions of people rushing about, each convinced their little dramas are the most important thing in the universe. Go higher still. See the Earth as a tiny blue marble suspended in the vast, silent darkness of space. From this vantage point, look for your problem. Can you even see it? Does that awkward conversation you had yesterday matter to the galaxy? Does the opinion of your neighbor matter to the history of the cosmos? This is not about nihilism. It is not about thinking that nothing matters. It is about realizing what actually matters. When you zoom out, the noise fades away. The petty insults, the traffic jams, the broken phones, they shrink to their true size, microscopic dust. What remains when you zoom out? Only the essentials: your character, your capacity to love, your connection to the whole. By practicing this shift in perspective, you detach from the immediate emotional spike of a problem. You realize that you are part of something much larger. You stop being the main character of a tragedy and become a calm observer of the universe. The monsters under your bed disappear when you realize how big the house really is. Principle 5. Premeditatio malorum, the vaccine for shock. Why does bad news hurt us so much? Because it catches us by surprise. It shatters our expectations. We walk through life with a fragile delusion that everything will go according to plan. We expect the traffic to be smooth, the coffee to be hot, and the people to be kind. When reality deviates from this script, we feel betrayed. Epictetus and the Stoics offer a counterintuitive cure: premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This is not pessimism. This is preparation. It is an emotional vaccine. Before you start your day, take 5 minutes to mentally rehearse the things that could go wrong. Tell yourself, today I will meet people who are ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful, envious, and unsocial. Visualize your car breaking down. Visualize losing your wallet. Visualize your project being rejected. Why would you do this? Because when you anticipate a blow, you can brace for it. If you know the road is bumpy, you won't spill your drink when you hit a pothole. When the rude person actually shows up, instead of being shocked and angry, you think, I was expecting you. You are part of the plan. This technique strips the future of its power to hurt you. Fear relies on uncertainty. By facing the worst-case scenarios in the safety of your mind, you realize 2 things. First, they are not as scary as you thought. Second, you have the strength to handle them. You are not hoping for bad things to happen, but you are removing the element of surprise. You are transforming from a fragile optimist into a resilient realist. When disaster strikes while others are panicking and asking why me, you are already moving forward because you have already lived this moment in your mind. You are ready. Principle 6. Emotional objectivity, stripping the narrative. We rarely see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. We paint layers of value judgments over every object and event. We don't just see a luxury car, we see success and status. We don't just see an insult, we see humiliation. We don't just see a fancy meal, we see pleasure. These added layers are what trap us. They create desire and fear. Epictetus advises us to strip away these layers and see things in their naked, physical reality. When you see a delicious, expensive steak that you crave, strip it down. Tell yourself, this is merely the dead body of a cow. When you see the vintage wine you think you need, tell yourself, this is just fermented grape juice. When you see the purple robe of the emperor, a symbol of ultimate power in Rome, tell yourself, this is just sheep's wool dyed with shellfish blood. Apply this to the things that hurt you. When someone screams at you, strip it down. It is just air being pushed through vocal cords, shaping sound. It has no physical power to harm your soul. When you lose money, strip it down. It is just numbers on a screen or pieces of paper changing hands. Your character remains untouched. This is the practice of emotional objectivity. It is a weapon against the seduction of marketing and the sting of criticism. By describing things in plain, unadorned language, you break their spell. You stop worshipping false idols and stop fearing paper tigers. You regain your sanity in a world that sells illusions. You see the world in high definition, without the filters of ego and desire. Principle 7. Amor fati, the alchemist's mindset. Most people tolerate their fate. They grit their teeth and endure the bad days. But the Stoic does not merely tolerate, the Stoic loves. This is amor fati, a love of one's fate. Epictetus said, "Do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to, rather, wish that what happens happen the way it happens, then you will be happy." This is the ultimate reversal of power. Usually, when something bad happens, you get fired, you get sick, it rains on your wedding day, you resist. You scream, "No," at reality. This resistance creates suffering. It creates a gap between what is and what you think should be. Amor fati closes that gap. It treats every event, no matter how terrible, as necessary fuel for your journey. Imagine your life is a fire. A fire does not care what you throw into it. If you throw a beautiful wooden chair, the fire consumes it. If you throw a rotting log, the fire consumes it. If you throw garbage, the fire consumes it. Everything becomes fuel. The fire only grows brighter and hotter. You must become that fire. If you lose your job, good. It is fuel for you to develop resilience, learn new skills, or start that business you always dreamed of. Someone betrayed you? Good. It is fuel to learn about human nature and to practice forgiveness. This mindset makes you invincible because you cannot lose. If life gives you good things, you are grateful. If life gives you bad things, you are grateful because you have raw material to work with. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become an alchemist, transforming the lead of adversity into the gold of character. You don't just survive the storm, you use the wind to fly faster. Part 3. The Enduring Fortress. Principle 8. The Inner Citadel, Sanctuary in Chaos. Where do you go when the world becomes too much? Most people run away. They book a vacation, they binge-watch a series, they drink, they scroll. They look for a sanctuary in geography or distraction. But Epictetus warns us, there is nowhere you can go that is more peaceful and free of interruption than your own soul. You must build an inner citadel. This is a fortress inside your mind that no one can enter without your permission. It is a space of pure reason, untouched by the storms outside. Imagine your mind is a castle. Most people leave the drawbridge down. Anyone can walk in. The angry news anchor, the jealous friend, the demanding advertiser, they all march into your throne room and leave their muddy footprints on your carpet. They steal your attention and disturb your peace. The Stoic pulls up the drawbridge. Inside the inner citadel, the laws of the outside world do not apply. Here, you are the king. Here, you decide what is true. If the world calls you a failure, you retreat to the citadel and consult your own reason. Reason says, I did my best. I acted with virtue. Therefore, I have succeeded. The insult from the outside cannot breach these walls. This is not about isolation. You still live in the world. You still have a job and a family. But you always keep a retreat open. Throughout your day, amidst the noise of the office or the chaos of traffic, take momentary trips to the citadel. Retreat into yourself for 30 seconds. Reconnect with your values. Remind yourself who you are. Then, return to the world refreshed. When you have a safe place inside, you stop desperately needing the world to be safe. You carry your peace with you, like a snail carries its home. Principle 9. Ruthless elimination, the art of being clueless. We are drowning in information but starving for wisdom. We feel a compulsive need to know everything. We need to know the latest political scandal, the latest celebrity gossip, the latest viral trend. We fear that if we disconnect, we will be left behind. Epictetus offers a cure that is terrifying to the modern ego. If you wish to improve, be content to appear clueless or stupid in extraneous matters. Read that again. Be content to appear clueless. To become invincible, you must practice ruthless elimination. You cannot care about everything. Your mental energy is a limited resource like the battery on your phone. If you have 50 apps running in the background, worrying about the news, obsessing over trends, tracking likes, your battery will die before noon. You must audit your life. Look at the information you consume. Does it help you become a better human being? Does it make you kinder, stronger, or wiser? If not, cut it out. Unfollow the accounts that make you feel inadequate. Turn off the notifications that interrupt your deep work. Say, "I don't know," when people ask you about the latest drama, and say it with pride. There is a tremendous power in saying, "I don't care about that." It signals that you have higher priorities. It protects your mind from the junk food of the internet. By narrowing your focus, you increase your power. You become a laser instead of a light bulb. You stop trading your peace for trivia. Principle 10. Memento mori, the ultimate perspective. Finally, we arrive at the most potent principle of all. The one we try hardest to ignore. The one that puts everything else into perspective. Memento mori. Remember that you must die. Epictetus tells us, "Let death and exile, and all other things which appear terrible, be daily before your eyes, and you will never think of anything mean, nor will you desire anything extravagantly." In modern society, we hide death. We sanitize it. We pretend we have forever. Because we think we have forever, we waste today. We hold grudges for years. We delay our dreams. We worry about embarrassing ourselves. We stay in jobs we hate because we are afraid of uncertainty. But what if you knew, truly knew, that this could be the last time you see the sun? What if this was the last conversation you ever have with your spouse? Would you waste it arguing about the dishes? Would you waste it scrolling through your phone? Death is not a depressant, it is a stimulant. It is the light that reveals what is essential. When you carry the awareness of your mortality, fear evaporates. You don't have time to be afraid of public speaking, you're going to die anyway. You don't have time to worry about what people think, they are going to die too. Use this principle to sharpen your life. When you wake up, remind yourself that this day is a bonus, not a right. When you kiss your loved ones, do it with the intensity of a final goodbye. This makes life vibrant. It makes colors brighter. It makes you present. You become invincible because you have already accepted the worst thing that can happen. Once you accept death, you are free to truly live. The unbreakable you. We have walked through the 10 pillars of the Stoic mind. We have explored the dichotomy of control, the inner citadel, and the power of memento mori. But listening to this video is not enough. Information without application is just entertainment. Epictetus himself warned his students, "Don't just say you have read books. Show me that through them you have learned to think better, to be a more discriminating and reflective person." So, here is my challenge to you. Do not try to do all 10 things at once. Pick one. Just one principle from this video that spoke to your soul. Maybe it's the pause, or maybe it's a more fatty. Commit to that one principle for the next 7 days. Make it your wallpaper. Write it on your mirror. When the storms of life hit you this week, and they will, use that principle as your shield. Test it. See if it holds. You are building a version of yourself that the world cannot break. It is a long road, but it is the only road worth traveling. If this video added a brick to your fortress, consider subscribing to Timeless Wisdom Official. We are building a community of modern Stoics, seekers, and thinkers who refuse to live shallow lives. Like this video to help the algorithm send this armor to someone else who needs it. And finally, a sincere thank you to you. In a world hooked on 7-second distractions, the fact that you are still here, investing in your mind, proves that you are different. You are the reason we create. Stay strong. Stay stoic. And remember, nothing affects you unless you let it. See you in the next video.